Hi, welcome to Group 16's Port Management System video demonstration. I'm Sun, I'm the project manager of this group, and I will be guiding you through this video. All right, so before we get started, I want to show you that currently there is no data in the OBJ files. I'm going to seed this data using the seed.java. Once the process has finished, we can go ahead and start our program. And like I said in the report, this application can't be started using normal by starting main, since the console UI library doesn't support using the console made by IntelliJ. So we have to run it in the terminal. I'm going to run it using this command. It includes the class path and the library class path. Right now, I'll run it. It will start like this. I'm going to enter the admin credentials. And it's going to start the system admin menu. As you can see, I can manage components from ports, vehicles, containers, trips, users, and statistics. So let's start with ports. You can view all the ports in the system. Currently, there's 5. And you can see it has been formatted into a table. You can see how many vehicles and how many containers, how many trips there are in this port, in each port. I can create a new port. I'm going to type a new ID being 6. Hamburg. Storing capacity 10,000, 45.098, negative 67.0967. And yes, this does support landing ability. As you can see here, the new port has been created, and it has vehicles, containers, and trips. I'm going to press N to input no. I can edit a port. For example, I can enter Hamburg, and it doesn't have to be the same case. It's not case sensitive. Your new port name, how about Berlin? And if I don't want to change anything else, I can just press enter, and it will input the same values as before, 10,000. And I don't want it to support landing anymore. After I've done that, I can view ports again. As you can see here, it's been changed. I can delete a port. So I'm going to press Berlin, and yes, you see Berlin has been deleted. I can load containers onto the ports. So London Harbor, Panic. Going to load container number 1, and it removed successfully. As you can see, now London Harbor has 2 containers. And I can do the same thing with unloading the containers. So London Harbor, mechanic number 1. And I view ports again. It only has one container. This is all the vehicles in the system. You can view them. This is essentially the same, but you have to select the vehicle type before you start entering the vehicle data. So I can enter a new truck using number 20205, truck 2, current fuel 0, fuel capacity 780, 60 views. It has been created, and essentially all the same features as ports is implemented here also. I'm also displaying what happens if the user doesn't input anything. There will be an exception will be thrown, and the menu will return to its state before. In vehicles, besides loading and unloading, you can move a vehicle. So truck 205 doesn't have a current port, so I'm going to move it to a port. Move to London Harbor. Vehicles now, it has moved to London Harbor. A vehicle can also be refueled. So as you can see here, current fuel of truck 205 is 0.0. So put truck 205 here. And I view it again. It has been set to the fuel capacity of 780 from 0. Loading a vehicle and unloading a vehicle is essentially the same as before. Ship to. Unload 7. And now ship to has one less container. And this unloading a vehicle is the same as in the port. Here's the containers menu. You can view all the containers and all the current port and current vehicles of the containers. And create a new container, edit a new container. And this is the same as the vehicles menu, where you can choose which type of container you can create. So I'm just going to create a refrigerated container, Gen 20, 736, and 34. You view it, you see 120 has been created. And you can, and here's a delete, but I don't want to delete it now, so I'm going to leave it empty, and I will return to the menu. I can also load the container to a port or a vehicle. I want 120 to move to, load it to London Harbor. And view it, it has been moved to London Harbor. I can also view all the trips and their statuses. I can schedule a new trip. So truck 205 to Tokyo Bay. Departure date will be 2023 09/0/24, 2023 10/10. Now when I try to view the trips again, it has a new trip right here. It's the users. You can see all the all the users in the system, and each port manager has a port they're managing. And the same CRUD operations can be done on the users, create new admins. Here are the statistics. You can see how much fuel is used in a day. So Titanic, distance of 120 kilometers is 0 because it doesn't have a container in it. But if a vehicle has a container in it, like ship 2 over here, it can calculate fuel consumption for a day. Calculate how much weight of each type. So dry storage, how much distance between 2 ports. So Sydney Harbor and New York Terminal. Here's the distance. You can see all trips in days, 833, 09, and 10. Here's all the trips that's scheduled and happening in this day. Trips in the set time, so 823, 09, 24, 823, 10, and here's all the trips that are happening in between. And that is about it for the admin menu. However, we can start this again and log in as a port manager. As a port manager, they can only manage the ports and the containers in their port. You can view port details. You can load a container to the port and unload container from the port to a vehicle. Edit their port details, but you can't can't move the vehicles. You can view the vehicles in the port. You can edit the vehicle's data, and you can also refuel the vehicles, just like in the admin menu. For the containers, you see view all the containers in the port. You can edit the containers, delete the containers, load container to a vehicle, like 28. There will be no containers left in this port because it has moved to the container and to the vehicle. See all the trips. These are all only the trips that have you see all the trips happening in the system, just like schedule new trips. Vehicle name, and you can, since this is a port manager, they can only schedule trips to the arrival port. They can't have a departure port because their departure ports is their own port. It's been created right here for the statistics. You can only do this to the vehicles inside the port. So all the information about the vehicles and containers are only contained inside the ports, inside their registered port. The only ships in the port, how much weight, each type of container, liquid, because there's no liquid containers in the port. So all the containers and data for the port managers are only for the port that the port manager has been assigned to. So that has been the port management system for Group 16. This program can also be run in the terminal using the same command. you have to go to the correct project root before you can run, and it will automatically have the same functionalities as if I ran it inside IntelliJ. And the same thing applies for VS Code. Thank you for listening.